Hi everybody and welcome back to Lost Genre Reddit Stories. This post is from the subreddit Am I the A-hole and it's by user Throwaway2919. Am I the a-hole for being upset at my wife after she invited her ex on my birthday party without even asking me? I'm 29 male and my wife is 30 female, and we've been together for 5 years. We met each other during a seminar and we clicked and started dating and eventually got married. My wife had already told me that she was in a very serious relationship with a school friend of hers. It was one of her female friend's brother. They were planning to get married, but she fell out of love with him and they broke up when he went to get his education and a job in a foreign country and hasn't seen him for the past 9 years. Enough backstory. 5 days ago, it was my birthday and we wanted to do something special, so we were planning it for a month. We were on a tight budget as well, so we discussed about who we were inviting. Basically, we agreed that both our families are invited, even extended, and some of our neighbors, our friends and colleagues, only those who we know though. On that day, I didn't know my wife had invited her ex as well, which was a shock to me when I saw him. I called my wife to meet me upstairs. I asked her what he was doing here, and she said he had come with his sister. I said we would have a discussion later. During my party, I saw him hugging my wife, and he greeted and hugged me as well. We talked just as a formality, and my wife was spending time with her friends, and he also joined them. I guess because he's from the friend circle? Anyway, after the party, I confronted my wife and asked her what she was thinking. She asked me what I meant. I asked her why was her ex here when I never met him before and why did she not tell me about it? She said he came back for a few months on holidays and her friend told her and urged my wife to invite him. I told my wife that she should have discussed it with me. It's my birthday party, and I should have the right to decide who joins and who doesn't, and it isn't some random guy, it's her ex. She said it wasn't that big of a deal, it was only for a few hours. She said she didn't tell me because I would object to it, because she knows me, and she wanted all of her friends to be invited. I completely lost my crap when she said that. I said, so you choose your friends over your own husband. I asked in my anger, does she have any idea how it feels to see your partner's ex on your special day, especially when it's for the first time? Then I asked her if she would like it if I invite my ex to her birthday party without telling her, and my ex is hugging me and laughing with me, would she be okay? It was supposed to be my special day, and she ruined it by inviting her ex. I told her, I was constantly thinking about what he did with you for years, and God knows what he actually did to you. Would I be thrilled to see a man who effed my own wife on my special day? It would be a different thing if we were on friendly terms and knew each other. She started sobbing and said I'm blowing it out of proportion. It's not that serious and I'm hurting her with my words. We haven't talked to each other for the past couple of days. She told her parents and sister and they said that I'm overreacting and it's not a big deal. I simply told them that if I invite one of my exes on her birthday party without telling her, would she like it? They said that I would just be taking revenge. I said I wouldn't hurt her, but she should have thought multiple times and discussed it with me and just simply have thought that it might hurt me. So, am I the a-hole here? Will it be trying to sidestep the whole drama and the gaslighting and all of that? No, you are not the a-hole because the simple thing is, it was your birthday party and you should have had a say on who gets to go and who doesn't. You guys planned it together, right? So what makes her the a-hole is that she invited her ex to your birthday without telling you specifically for the reason that you would have objected, which meant that to her, it was more important to have her ex at the party than what you would have wanted. That is definitely not a good consideration in a couple, and that's something that you need to sit down and address with her. The fact that her friend urged her to invite her brother, who cares? It was your birthday. She did not have the right to invite anybody she wanted without you having a say in it. So no, OP, you are not the a-hole, and you two definitely need to sit down and sort this out or it's gonna generate problem. And what do you guys think? Let me know in the comment section, and now let's check out the community comments. Damsel Kitty says, not the a-hole, it's your birthday and your wife should have discussed inviting her with you, especially knowing it could be uncomfortable. Her dismissive attitude about your feelings further compounds the issue. And Opie responds, I thought the same. See, I would have agreed to her demand of allowing her ex to be invited to my party, but she didn't even tell me. I think for a healthy relationship, a proper discussion between couples is a must and respect each other's boundaries. I never had the chance to draw a boundary as long as her exes are concerned because he wasn't around at all. He was in God knows which country. But my wife clearly didn't think of me when she decided that a proper discussion is not needed. I am doubting my own marriage at this point. Clearly, she doesn't want to communicate with me about something this significant. And when I said, how would she feel if I did the same, she clearly didn't agree with the idea. Juicy Lips says, not the a-hole. Your wife should have consulted with you before inviting her ex to your birthday party. It's a matter of respect and boundaries in a marriage. And the fact that her family thinks you are overreacting shows a lack of understanding and empathy towards your feelings. You have the right to feel uncomfortable and hurt by the situation. Hopefully, you and your wife can have an open and honest conversation about it and come to a resolution. Evelyn Has Too says, on the other hand, your wife's intent might not have been to hurt you, but to accommodate her friends and make the gathering inclusive. She might have underestimated how upsetting this situation would be for you. Her perspective that it was only for a few hours and that she didn't think it was a big deal is an indication that she might not fully grasp the impact on you. And Jackson Love 3 says, not the a-hole. And even if you take your birthday out of the equation, it was still absolutely inappropriate to invite her ex anywhere without discussing it with you first. She's absolutely prioritized his and her friends' feelings over her own husband's. It was inappropriate and wrong. I bet that she would be just as livid if you did the same thing, which is why she won't give you a straight answer on the question. And now she's trying to sweep it under the rug and act like the victim because you're upset. She's completely dismissing your feelings and taking no responsibility for her stupid, inappropriate decision. So, the majority of the community agrees that OP is not the a-hole and that what the wife did was wrong, that she should have consulted with OP, except for a couple of comments there that maybe the wife just doesn't understand how impactful this would be for OP. I don't think it's an excuse anyways, but I did read the comment. So now, let's move on to the update to see how this story ends. First off, I thank everyone for their advice. I tried my best to not overthink, but after reading the comments, I couldn't brush off the feeling that something was wrong. I tried so hard to deny, but I just couldn't. I went to my wife today and asked her to unlock her phone and give it to me. She asked me multiple questions like it was an interrogation or something, like why do I want to check her phone, or do I not trust her, or did I go crazy because of my jealousy, and many more, but the more I think about it, the angrier I get. After pressuring her for a while, she gave me her phone. I checked her texts and social media messages, but I couldn't find anything at all. So, I went to her group text chat and found out that my wife and her ex met each other alone frequently ever since he came back, and he was also invited whenever she went out with her friends, but she never told me about that. I asked her, "What is this?" She asked me, "What?" I asked her, "Why did you meet him alone, and why did you never tell me about any of this? Why did you not tell me that you and your friends invited your ex and you all hung out together?" My wife said that it's not what I think it is. She said he's not just her ex, but a long-time friend. They've known each other for years, even before she met me, and I'm just being a jealous, controlling man, and there's nothing suspicious other than we just met and hung out. I said, "I love and trust you, but do not take me for a fool. There's no reason for you to be alone with your ex and behind my back especially. I don't even know who the F this guy is, and why is he talking to my wife behind my back, and why is my wife meeting him and my own wife defending her ex?" I said I'm leaving and we're getting divorced. My wife started crying and said that I don't trust her and it's not what I think it is. I wanted to calm her down, but I just started walking to the door. My wife held me and got angry and said we can talk and fix this misunderstanding. But I said I am not ready to talk and I am running out of patience, so please, just leave me be. And if she wants to be with him, I wouldn't object at all, and I will pray for a happy life for them. I went to live with my sister. I told her everything that happened. I must have ranted for a long time. She just listened and said nothing. But in the end, she said that my wife is definitely hiding something, and my suspicion is correct. She hugged me and consoled me, and I was drowning in my own thoughts, and my sister noticed it, I guess. My sister said that she can feel it, that I want to cry, and if I want to, I can cry on her and vent to her instead of bottling it all up inside. And she herself started crying also. To be honest, I really do want to cry, but I am too proud to show the weaker side of me, and I have come here on the internet anonymously. I did so much for my wife. She always threw lavish parties, but when I wanted to do the same after years, she betrayed me in the worst way possible. There were 1,000 different ways to hurt me, but she chose the worst way to hurt me. So here I am, drinking and thinking about what went wrong and where I was lacking, and living with my sister like a loser in his 30s. It's not easy when your own life partner betrays you in the worst way possible. I thought of her all the time. I gave her my best, and what does she do? She invites her ex to my birthday, which I was looking forward to because I didn't celebrate my birthday in years. Only Mai and her family joined us while she threw lavish parties every chance she got. And even though I did all this, she betrayed me? If you love someone else, why don't you just go to them and live your life with them? Why must you make someone else suffer? Like, what do you even get out of this by just causing unnecessary pain to others? Thankfully, I have my sister to rely on, and she's trying her best to help me, and she cries as well, knowing what I went through. I haven't told others about what my wife did yet, and the angry side of me says that I should expose her, but I also think that I should just let it go. I'm so confused, angry, conflicted, and drowning in my own emotions that I can't even think straight. If my sister wasn't there for me and helped me, I would be in a much darker place. I appreciate my sister so much. I pray that nobody else feels the pain the way I did. Well, OP, I can tell by the way you wrote your update that you truly are hurting, and I'm so sorry that you're having to go through the pain of betrayal. And of course, I know it doesn't feel like it right now, but there is a silver lining. Better finding out now than 20 years down the road. You're still young. You're in your 30s. There's much to live for in the future. It's a good thing you have your sister. So on that note, here's wishing you the best in the future. Take care and thanks for sharing. And now let's move on to the next post that also has an update. This post is from the subreddit Am I the A-hole, and it's by user Trying to Understand 67. Am I the a-hole for walking our dog while my wife was getting ready for dinner? It feels ridiculous to ask about this, but I'm starting to think I'm missing some key bit of information here. I guess I'm asking that if I am, why? Because it wasn't my intention, and I certainly would like to prevent it from happening again. This Friday, my wife and I had reservations at her favorite restaurant because her birthday is right around the corner. We have a party planned, but this was supposed to be our night together alone. The way the reservation was set up, I would come home from work, change, and immediately drive there as it's around an hour and a half by car. Yes, we live in a hick country, yes, I am a hick, and no, we aren't moving that I've been made aware of, lol. The day had gone great so far, and from what I knew, everything was going according to plan. I got home and she's behind schedule getting ready. This is not something that happens for her ever, and I was surprised. But the reason wasn't her fault, and it was barely a 20-minute deviation. However, I was just waiting by the door during that time, and the dog decided he needed out. So I took him for a walk around our yard. It took maybe 5 minutes, and I cleaned everything up and had him put up before my wife was ready. We made it to the dinner reservation by the skin of our teeth, and that was that. We had a great date, and I would have never known she was upset with me until the next morning when she said that she had never known me to be so impatient, which confused me, and she rolled her eyes and said she noticed that I took the dog for a walk before we left to make her hurry, and that she didn't want to let my bad mood ruin the night. I had been in a great mood and told her so, but she refused to believe it and got pretty angry, which I haven't been able to calm her down from to even talk about this again. I really don't understand. What have I done wrong here? And I don't know what to do. Am I the a-hole? Well, OP, if you're not skipping any kind of information and you're telling actually the whole story here, then no, I wouldn't think you're the a-hole. Like, did your wife ask you for some help or something while you were out with the dog? Did she need you to do anything while you were out with the dog? Did you say anything that she could have taken like you were rushing her or pressuring her or something like that? Because if nothing like that happened, then I think that what you did was actually the right thing to do. The dog needed to go out, you took him out even before your wife was ready, and you guys made it to the reservation. I don't see a problem. So if I was in your shoes, I would approach your wife by saying something, I know you're mad at me and I apologize if I don't understand why. Could you please explain to me what I did that has you so upset with me? And hopefully that can get the conversation started without her getting more angry at you. What do you guys think? Let me know in the comment section, and now let's check out the community comments. Serious Business 5048 says, not the a-hole. It sounds like she may really be annoyed about something else. Try talking again to see if you can get under the real issue. Did something happen at work, or did she have another expectation that was not met? And OP responds, not that she talked about. The day went pretty well from what I know, but I'll definitely try to talk to her about her job. She hasn't had any trouble from this lot yet that I know of, but it is a newer job and there may be things I don't know. Thank you. I probably wouldn't have ever connected that it could be related to work. Pegging Pinhead says, not the a-hole. Can you lay it out clearly for your wife that you don't understand what went wrong? Hell, maybe just show her this post. I'm assuming the anger is out of character for her, so a conversation is a good idea. Give her some time to cool down and then come from a place of, how can we work this out together? And OP responds, yeah, neither of us are angry people. That's the biggest reason I posted. She's been pretty annoyed with me before, but this is different. And 77meg77 says, not the a-hole. I am not seeing anything that you did wrong here. Did you know why she was 20 minutes late getting dressed? Maybe the reason she was late getting ready is tied to what made her get upset. Taking the dog out was not wrong. It isn't like you walked around the block, you stayed in your own yard. And I really want to commend you for wanting to figure out what the issue is so that this doesn't happen again. Your desire for clear communication is awesome. Just let her know you were not anxious or trying to push her to get ready. It was simply that the dog needed to pee. She misunderstood something or was hoping for something else to be said or to happen, but you cannot be expected to read her mind. If she insists that you were acting impatient, tell her she was incorrect. It sounds to me like you two had a great evening out, and I sure don't see any big issues here. And OP responds, yeah, she had gotten ready at our neighbor and her friend's house up a small hill and walked back over, but took a tumble on the way. She wasn't hurt at all, but she had to change her dress and fix her hair. Not the first time she's fallen like that, and I worry about it, but she says it isn't a big deal. Alright, well, the community agrees that OP was not the a-hole, but we're all just pretty clueless as to why she could be angry. So now let's move on to the update to see how this story ends. Hello, I feel weird updating, but I have good news and want to share somewhere, and here seems as good a place as any right now. And actually, I wanted to thank everyone for commenting and the people who reached out privately with advice. You really helped calm me down and figure out how to approach talking about this while seeing where my wife could be coming from. One person even called exactly what was going on, something I missed right away, stupidly. So, I came home the next day and brought home pizza from her favorite spot in town, which we never get because of crowds, because I figured even if I wasn't outright wrong, there was no reason not to make the conversation nice. So, after dinner, I asked about the dog again, and after a lot of back and forth and crying that I'll skip explaining, she explained that for the past week or so, she had been feeling weirdly emotional and she couldn't explain it. Some people had mentioned some things here about different health stuff that could cause those sort of symptoms, and I got pretty nervous and got her in a doctor's office within a couple of days. Well, imagine our embarrassment walking out 5 minutes after getting in and doing a test we could have done at home for like $20 without including insurance companies. She is going to talk to her therapist about meeting every week for a while she adjusts and deals with hormonal changes. we've been laughing about it now because it never crossed our minds she could have been pregnant. Someone commented it, but I still didn't believe it because I am dumb. Never mind that we're both in our 20s or that she switched birth control like 2 months ago and we may or may not have had unprotected sex during the switch week. Anyway, as stupid as we may be, we are still excited but waiting until the 12th week mark to tell our families. However, I've been itching to tell someone and can't wait any longer. So here's an update. Wife approved because it's anonymous. Thanks again for the help. I appreciate it a lot, even if I didn't take the advice of the person who was right. Willoughby, at least now you know why your wife was so upset with you. And not to get ahead of you sharing the news with your family, congratulations are in order for you and your wife. Take care, Opie, and thanks so much for sharing. And that's it for today's video. Thank you so much for taking the time to watch it. Now, if you've gotten to this point in the video, I assume that you like these stories that I'm reading out. So here are a couple more that you might enjoy. And if you don't have any time to watch another story right now, save it for later. And also, don't forget to hit that subscribe button.